The attachment we don't see. Why letting go is so difficult. Buddhist wisdom. Most of us believe we understand attachment. We picture someone who can't move on, someone who keeps checking their phone for a message that won't come, someone gripping a relationship that ended long ago. And because these images are so clear, we assume we'd recognize attachment anywhere, especially in ourselves. But something I've come to realize over the years is this: the attachments that cause the most suffering are the ones we never notice. They have no shape, no label. They run so deep inside the way we experience the world that we've confused them with the world itself. And that confusion is exactly where the suffering begins. There's a word the Buddha used, manyati, and it appears in one of the earliest teachings in the Pali Canon, the Mullapariyaya Sutta, the very first discourse of the Majjhima Nikaya. It describes something most of us do every waking moment without realizing it. We fabricate meaning. Every time we encounter something, a person, a situation, even a feeling, the mind goes far beyond registering what's there. It wraps the experience in layers of claim. This is mine. This is me. This is who I am. And this happens so fast that by the time we become aware of our experience, the layers are already in place. We look at a world our mind has already shaped, and we believe we're seeing things as they are. This is why attachment is so difficult to see. The meaning we've assigned to things has become the lens we look through. We use it every day. We forget it's there. Asking someone to notice their own attachment is like asking them to see their own eyes without a mirror. The instrument of seeing has become the very thing that needs to be seen. So where does this invisible attachment reveal itself? In our reactions. Pay attention the next time something small happens and your emotional response feels far larger than the situation calls for. That gap between what actually happened and how intensely you reacted, something lives inside it. Or notice when your mind keeps replaying the same conversation, the same version of events where things should have gone differently. That loop is telling you something. Or watch what happens when you face uncertainty, when you don't know the outcome, don't know what someone thinks of you, don't know what comes next. And that not knowing becomes so uncomfortable, you'd do anything to escape it. These reactions are the fingerprints attachment leaves behind, and they're everywhere once you start looking. Someone doesn't reply to your message for a few hours, and your mind has already written an entire story about what it means. Plans change at the last minute, and you feel something tighten inside you that's far bigger than a change of schedule. These responses seem proportional from the inside. From the outside, they reveal how much we've invested in things we didn't even know we were holding. And attachment never shows up announcing what it is. It arrives wearing the face of something we respect. Concern, responsibility, dedication, love. We look right at it and see something noble, something worth protecting. We've given it a name we trust, so we never question it. And so it stays. For years. Sometimes for a lifetime. Once you begin to notice these reactions, something else comes into focus. Inside every strong emotion, every longing, every fear, every ache of loss, there are layers we've never examined. And when we finally do, what we find can shift the way we understand our own hearts. When we miss someone, that feeling is real. No teaching should ever try to take that away from us. But if we stay with that feeling long enough, we start to notice it's made of more than one thing. Inside the missing, there are expectations we placed on that person, ways we needed them to be, futures we imagined together, a story about what we deserved from the relationship. And there's something even more personal buried underneath, the version of ourselves that existed inside that connection, the way we felt when they looked at us, the sense of being needed, being chosen, being known. And there's one more layer still, the future we had imagined together, the person we were going to become alongside them. A whole life that existed only in our minds, vivid and detailed, that quietly dies when the relationship ends. When we lose that person, we don't just lose them. We lose all of these layers at once, the expectations, the self-image, the story about who we were in their eyes. And because they arrive as one overwhelming wave, we give the whole thing a single name, I miss them, and we believe that covers it. But there is so much more living underneath that name, and the parts that hurt the most are often the parts we haven't looked at yet. Beneath even these layers, there is something the Buddha pointed to with extraordinary precision. In the Kamaka Sutta, there's a conversation that has stayed with me for a long time. A monk named Kamaka was ill. He wasn't a beginner. He was a practitioner who had already gone far on the path, someone who had cut through the coarser layers of delusion that most of us are still caught in. Senior monk sent a messenger to ask him directly, "Do you still regard any of the 5 aggregates as self?" Kamaka answered, "No, I don't identify with any of them. And yet, there is still a lingering sense of I am that I haven't fully released." Then he offered an image, a cloth that has been thoroughly scrubbed and cleaned. The dirt and stains are gone, but a faint scent from the cleaning still clings to the fabric. Only with time, left undisturbed, does that scent finally fade. The Buddha called this lingering sense asmimana, the subtle conceit of I am, and alongside it, he described bhavatanha, the craving to become, the craving to keep existing as someone. This is a layer of attachment so deep that it doesn't feel like attachment at all. It feels like breathing. It feels like waking up in the morning and knowing who you are. Every day, before you've even finished your first thought, the mind has already started constructing. I am this person. I have this life. I need to get there. I need to become that. And because this process is as constant as your heartbeat, you never think to question it. It seems like the most obvious truth in the world. I exist. I am this person. So obvious that examining it feels absurd. And yet, when you look carefully, you start to see that this sense of I am isn't as solid or as stable as it appears. It shifts depending on who you're with, what role you're playing, what story you're telling yourself that day. It's being rebuilt constantly, and we don't notice because we're standing inside the construction site. That is why almost no one sees it. If attachment runs this deep, all the way down to the basic sense of being someone, what did the Buddha actually teach about it? Because there's a version of his teaching that many people have heard, and it sounds like this. All attachment is bad. All desire leads to suffering, and the only way forward is to want nothing and feel nothing. That version is a misunderstanding, and an unfortunate one. The Buddha used 2 different words for 2 very different inner movements. One is tanha, a craving born from confusion, a blind thirst that grabs and doesn't know why it's grabbing. The other is chanda, a wholesome aspiration, a desire rooted in care and genuine wisdom. On the surface, they can look identical. 2 people doing the same thing in the same moment, for entirely different reasons. The difference lives in what's happening underneath. You might help someone because you truly want them to be well, or you might help them because you need them to need you. The action is the same. The root is completely different. The Buddha himself carried chanda throughout his 45 years of teaching. He wanted to help. He wanted beings to find their way out of suffering. He walked across northern India to share what he had discovered. But he didn't need anyone to accept his words, didn't need things to go his way. He offered what he had and left each person free to decide for themselves. That is Chanda. The moment you add, and I need you to respond the way I want, that is where Tanha begins. In the connected discourses on the aggregates, the Buddha drew another important line. He spoke about the 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness, as the natural processes of body and mind. These are how life works. They aren't a problem. The problem shows up with what he called the 5 aggregates affected by clinging. Pankupadana Khandha. The same 5 processes, but now entangled with defilements and desire, seized and claimed as me and mine. The key word is upadana, grasping, clinging. And the word carries a second meaning: fuel. Fuel that keeps the fire of suffering burning. Think about what this means in your own life. You can love someone completely. That love is part of the natural movement of the heart. But the moment the mind wraps itself around that love and says, I cannot exist without this person. If they leave, I will fall apart. That is upadana at work. And when that grip loosens, the love doesn't disappear. It's still there, maybe even clearer than before. What's gone is the noose. In the Phenapindupama Sutta, the Buddha offered a series of vivid images. Form is like foam gathering on a river. Feeling is like a bubble that appears and bursts in the rain. Perception is like a mirage shimmering in the midday heat. Mental formations are like a banana trunk. Peel away layer after layer and find no solid core inside. And consciousness is like a magic show. He wasn't condemning any of it. Each of these things is real. Foam is real. A bubble is real. A mirage is real. They exist. They just don't contain the solid, unchanging core we imagine is there. The Buddha wasn't asking us to reject our experience or pretend it doesn't exist. He was inviting us to look closely enough to see what these things actually are. And the middle way lives in that willingness to look, to understand the nature of what we are holding, without judgment, without resistance, without turning away. It doesn't ask us to stop living. It asks us to see what living actually is, beneath the layers we've wrapped around it. Even after hearing all of this, even after recognizing its truth, most of us still find it incredibly hard to let go. And the reason goes deeper than most people realize. We've built our identity out of our attachments. That expectation about how your life should unfold. That story about what you've been through and what it means about you. That need to be seen, to be understood, to be recognized in a certain way. Over the years, these things have woven into how you know yourself, so completely that you can't tell where you end and where the clinging begins. When someone loses a career they've held for 20 years, the grief is often less about the job and more about the loss of the person they were inside that role. When a long relationship ends, there's a strange disorientation that goes beyond heartbreak. It's the feeling of not knowing who you are when you're no longer half of something. This is why the suggestion to let go can feel so threatening. Something in us hears it as an invitation to erase who we are. And that fear has a grain of truth in it, because the identity we've built does include a great deal of clinging. Letting go means parts of how we've known ourselves will shift, maybe dissolve. That's a disorienting experience, even when what's dissolving was never solid to begin with. And so we hold on, sometimes not because we want to, but because we don't yet know who we are without the holding. And attachment makes this harder still by disguising itself as our most cherished values. I'm not clinging. I care deeply. I'm not attached. I'm being responsible. I'm not afraid of losing them. I just love them. These statements can be completely true, and they can also be the exact words attachment uses to keep itself hidden. The disguise works because it's made from real material, and because of that, we resist letting go. We truly believe we'd be letting go of something good. There is also a vast difference between letting go and going cold. When someone shuts down, walks away in resentment, or forces themselves to stop caring because they're exhausted and hurt, they haven't let go. They've pushed something away, and when we push something away out of pain, it doesn't leave. It goes underground. We stop thinking about it on the surface, but the weight is still there, pressing against everything from the inside. It shows up as a hardness we carry into the next relationship, a flinch when someone gets too close, a cynicism we wear like armor and call wisdom. That kind of distance is attachment turned inside out, still running, just from behind a wall. True letting go comes from a different place. The Buddhist tradition calls it paññā, wisdom, clear seeing. And there is a way to recognize which one is at work inside you. Look at what remains after you've stepped back. If you find peace, compassion, openness, that is letting go. If you find bitterness, coldness, a wall built for self-protection, you've retreated, but you haven't released anything. So how does the real thing actually happen? This is where most people get stuck, and I understand why. Because we live in a world that tells us understanding is the same as transformation, that if you can name the problem, you've solved it. But when it comes to attachment, there is a crucial difference between knowing about it and seeing it alive inside your own experience in this very moment. You can study the Buddha's teaching thoroughly, explain the mechanics of clinging with precision, and still be completely caught in it. Knowing that fire is hot is information. Touching it is experience. Only the direct encounter changes anything at the root. The Buddha's word for this direct encounter is sati. It's commonly translated as mindfulness. Sati is the foundation of an entire path of deep practice, but at its core, it begins with something very ordinary: being honest with yourself about what's happening inside you right now. Knowing you're angry while you're angry, in that moment, not an hour later when the storm has passed. Seeing the grip of clinging while the hand is still closed, and seeing it without trying to fix it, without analyzing why it's there, without forcing the hand open, just seeing what is present, and staying with it. This sounds simple, and in a way it is. But there is a difference between understanding this as an idea and actually doing it when your chest is tight with anger, when your mind is racing with worry, when everything in you wants to react, to fix, to control. Staying present with what's uncomfortable, without flinching, without turning it into a story. That takes a kind of courage that doesn't get talked about enough. There's something that happens when we do this. When the clear light of awareness meets the clinging directly, without judgment, without agenda, something the Buddha called avijja, the fundamental blindness that keeps the whole cycle turning, begins to lose its ground. The clinging loses the root that has been feeding it. Some layers of attachment dissolve the moment they are truly seen. You notice the grip, and the hand opens on its own. But subtler layers take longer. They are more like the lingering scent 𝐂𝐴𝐸 described. They need time, patience, and sustained practice to gradually fade. Letting go isn't always a single moment of insight. Sometimes it's a long and honest road. And knowing that can save us from one more trap, turning letting go into a performance review we run on ourselves. Have I seen deeply enough? Is my understanding sufficient? Am I doing this the right way? The moment those questions take over, the analysis itself becomes one more thing to grip. What falls away in the end is the distorted view, the view that said, "This is me, this is mine. Without this, I am nothing. And when that view loosens its hold, you discover something that might surprise you. Nothing you truly cared about has gone anywhere. The people stay, the memories stay, the love stays. You still love, and the love moves freely because no hand is tightening around it. You still remember, and the memories come and go without dragging you under. You still live fully, and the fear of loss no longer runs the show from behind the curtain. Something I didn't expect to find on the other side of letting go. Space. Space I didn't know existed. Space to feel without being overwhelmed. Space to care without being consumed. The kind of space the sky has for clouds. They come, they stay for a while, they move on. And the sky never shrinks. It never runs out of room. It was always this vast. We just couldn't see it because we were so busy gripping the clouds, convinced that if we let them go, the sky itself would disappear. But it doesn't disappear. You open your hand, and the sky is still there. The people in your life, the moments you've lived, the love you've given and received, all of it remains. What leaves is the grip, the claim, the desperate story that said you couldn't survive without holding on. And maybe that's the most unexpected part of this whole journey. You spend so long afraid of what you'll lose, and then you open your hand, and everything that was ever truly yours is still there. It always was. You just couldn't feel it through the grip.